Hey folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to make a really cool but fast pair of earrings using my bead strand from JJB Beads Orange Citrus. This is one that I received in my October Design Ambassador Kit, but we're using 2 strands. So let's turn down and we'll look at what we're going to do. So what we have here are the energy prisms, the big energy prism crystals from the citrus, orange citrus bead strand. And these aren't these pretty? So what we're going to make is a dual dangle with these bead caps on the bottom. Now these are sort of conforming bead caps. You can push them down on there further if you want them on here further, and they will just push out. See, isn't that cool? And that's going to be on the bottom. And then we're going to have this crystal spacer on top with one of these little 6mm rondelles on the top of that and one on the bottom. So what we need is the 4 energy prisms. Like I said, there's 2 in per strand, so I have 2 strands here. So there's for one earring and for the second earring. Each one of these will need 2 of the bead caps for the bottom, an ear wire, an oval jump ring, and for the top we have the crystal spacers. And then we have these purpley red rondelles, for one for either side. Four ball head pins. These are 3-inch. Make it a little easier to do any maneuvering you need to make. And then we have some scrap chain reaction. Now a lot of people probably tend to throw this away when you don't use it. I keep all my scraps of chain reaction because it makes great earrings. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this piece in half, and one of these is going to dangle from the one half, and then we're going to cut this crystal off and get 2 more with just one for the other dangle. So it will have a dangle that's a little lower than the other and one that's up higher. So let's cut these pieces loose so we have them. Put the crystal away, use it a different time. And then we want 2 of these. Now I'll put this up and hook it up with my other with my remaining scraps in a bit. But like I said, always keep your scraps. And then we'll cut this one in 2 as well. Find the little link in the middle here, cut it in half, and then 2, 2, and well, actually this one needs cut in half again because it's going to be 1 and 1. So 1 and 1. So the first thing we need to do is to start putting these together. So we'll take one of our ball head pins, put on the little rondelle on the bottom, our cap so that it faces upwards so that our energy prism can drop into that. And then, as I said, we can push this down to make sure it's spread wide enough for how we want it. Then we'll put the crystal spacer on and the other little rondelle. And there we have what that's going to look like. Now we will take our pliers and make our bend. And I tend to use my smallest spot on my stepped bell making pliers for doing my loops because it makes a nice consistent loop. So we'll bring that around, but we're going to stop right here because we're going to attach it to one of our links. So we pull the link on. Come on, baby, go through the hole. And pull it up into place. Now, you may need to spread your wire a little bit to get this to go on, and then again, it may just snap right into place like that one just did. And once it does snap into place, hold the loop with your pliers and then wrap your tail. Now, if you don't like to make wrapped loops, you could make this just a simple loop as opposed to a wrapped loop. That's fine. It's always your preference. And you also don't have to make this a double dangle. You could just make a single dangle if that would be your preference as well. Now be careful when you trim your excess off that you don't grab hold of anything you don't want. I have occasionally trimmed off my loop before, which is no fun, and you have to start over, but that does happen. And I don't think I got a good clip on this, so let's do it again. There we go. And then tuck your excess wire in close to your bead, being careful not to break it because it is, after all, glass. And then if you've got your loop crooked while doing that, you can always just straighten it up like that. And there we have the longer of our two dangles made for this particular earring. Okay, so now we're going to work on the second one, and we just do it exactly the same way with the rondelle, the bead cap, the energy prism, push it down to spread it out, put on the crystal rondelle and the other little regular. Now we will turn it again, just like we did the other one. And again, we're going to stop right here as we come around because we need to snap this one little piece in. So let's put that in. She's in. Go out of the way. Hold the loop and twist. Do our wraps. And then we'll clip that off. And trim it and tuck it in. And then it will be put together like this. And I actually got a big oval jump ring, and I shouldn't have. I need a smaller one because these little loops on the chain reaction will not take a bigger loop. You need a thinner one because this one is just too heavy. I'm fairly positive. I've got some smaller gold jump rings, and we're going to open this one up. These ones will, I know, fit because I've used them many times with the chain reaction. So through one, through the second, and the first fell off, so we'll just get it back on. And then we're going to put the ear wire on before we bother to close this up. And like all jump rings, you close the oval ones with a twisting motion. Let's make sure that's closed all the way. And there's the first of our 2 earrings. Isn't that pretty? So let's get down and start on the second one. Of course, the second one will get put together exactly like the first, with remember, when you pull this around before you start wrapping, you want to add your little bit of chain. Now that wrap is a little loose. I'm going to push it up with my thumbnail. There we go. Get out of the way, little one. And then, of course, tuck your excess wire. So that's one portion done. Now we have to go and do the second. So we'll put this together exactly the same. Bend it. Pull up your pliers, put it in place, push it around, wrap this up this direction, pull it down, take it out, and put in our little piece, our chain link. Snap that in place. Get our pliers back out. Wrap. Now you can do this with your fingers if your wire is thin enough. If it's a heavier gauge wire for these, you'll probably want to use a second pair of pliers to wrap with. Now tuck. And now we just have to put this second one together. A few more jump rings than I need here, but that's all right. We can put those away. So now, because I like mine opposite, I want to check to see how this one is going. So I want to put in my little one first, my longer one, and then my ear wire. And close up my jump ring. Making sure it's well closed. And there's our second earring. So there we go. One beautiful pair of earrings using those wonderful energy prisms from the orange citrus bead strand from Jessie James Beads. So let's turn around and we'll look at them a little better. As I mentioned, quick, fast, and beautiful. There is the one earring. And here's both of them. And there we go. Aren't those beautiful? Anyway, this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and I've been working with some of the energy prisms from the Orange Citrus bead strand from Jesse James Beads, and some scrap chain reaction, which I also got from Jesse James Beads. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this. Again, Rose from In Rose's Garden. Bye-bye.